Biscuit munchies, ice spritzer. Biscuit munchies, ice spritzer. Pew, 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 pew.
Hi, welcome to our podcast. Okay, before we start our topic today, I'm going to talk about, we are going to talk about language acquisition. But before we start, I wonder, what is language acquisition? I don't know about the first and second. I don't know about the first and second language acquisition, but what is the meaning of it? Does anyone here know?
I know.
Yeah,
Come on, answer. Okay. So, for first language acquisition, it means that it's the first language that you learn after you're born. But for second language acquisition, it means the second language that you learn after your first language. So, it means that the language that you learn after your childhood or in your adulthood. So, how to differentiate first language acquisition and second language acquisition? So, to differentiate them, the first one by age of acquisition. So the older you try to learn the second language, the less efficient for you to be likely in that language. But the best ages for you to learn the second language is when you were at infant until you 7. Okay. For second point, is that the learning context. So for first language acquisition, they learn the language like in a natural way because of their family, their community, and yeah. But for the second language acquisition, they learn the language maybe because of they learn abroad or they work in another country. Some of them even joining the language classes. But how do they try to practice the language? So they learn it by language apps, watching movies, and memorizing flashcards. But I heard that some of them cannot really do well in writing, reading, and speaking in their classroom. Yeah, I heard that.
I see.
Okay, so I would like to add something. This is not how people learn differently.
Yeah.
So in language acquisition, actually there is two types of learning: natural language learning and structured learning.
What is the difference between the natural and structured?
Okay, so let me tell you. Natural learning is when you learn naturally at home by interaction with your parents. It's like how you imitate your parents, and from that you could learn everything and you apply it to yourself. So that's what we call natural. It happens naturally. So instructed learning, it happened in formal setting, like when you guys go outside to school to learn from a teacher systematically, like teaching plan, assessment, and exercises, how it works as school life. So that's what we call instructed learnings.
Ah, that's interesting. Do you guys know that there's also other theories in second language acquisition, such as behaviorism? But before I get into the topic, I will explain what is behaviorism. So behaviorism is a theory of learning and psychology, which focuses on observable behavior rather than mental states, such as thoughts, feelings, and motivations. So basically, it sees learning as a process of forming association between the stimuli, which is the things in environment, and the responses, which is the observable actions. So according to the famous behaviorists, such as the father of behaviorism, which is, what is his name again? Not B.F. Skinner. No, B.F. Skinner is the one who developed the operant conditioning. No, the father of behaviorism is the John B. Watson. He is the one. So for them, in their opinion, in basically language acquisition, it can happen through environmental interaction. Basically, it relies heavily on imitation, reinforcement, and conditioning. So what is the three of them? So basically, imitation, reinforcement, and conditioning, all of them are a process of habit, which is able to help the children to learn language acquisition. So the first step for imitation is where children, they can copy and imitate someone. While reinforcement is where you correct them, where you reward them for their good behavior. And the third one is conditioning. It's where the children repeatedly do the actions until they get better at it. So there are different settings for these process. So I will start for example, at home. For example, at first step, the imitation, children, they can imitate the mother saying like mama, dada, And then the second step is what is that? What is it again? Yes, reinforcement. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. So basically, for the second step for reinforcement, so children, if after they like successfully they can produce a word, the mother, the parent, they can reward the children, such as giving them a bottle of milk for doing a good job in pronouncing the word. And then third is conditioning. It's where they keep repeating everything step, and then the children get better and better. And there's also other option settings, like for example at school, for imitation, children they can copy the teacher, and then soon the student will also learn more and more, and then the teacher will reward them through what? Through giving them candies or giving them stars. Back then teachers they always give you high grades. And then third is conditioning, is where the teacher will do it repeatedly again, and then the students get better. And another third setting is social. Well, socially it happens in public or in social media. Example is, for example, in TikTok, children they can imitate someone famous or a trend, and where they're imitated, they also get the reinforcement. For example, they get a lot of viewers. Like for example, imagine if you post a trend and then you got a lot of positive comments. Imagine how happy it will make you feel. Imagine, right? So it makes you condition them to do more and more. But then improve them. Okay, so that's like an example of the behaviorism. But then when I think about it, I think there's also another theory. I think it's called universal grammar.
Ooh, I really like universal grammar.
You sure you do? Okay, then let's hear you talk about it then.
Well, for universal grammar, it means that the grammar structure or the language structure is already innate or born into the human mind. So the so the linguist or theorist is the Noam Chomsky proposes this theory. And fascinatingly, when you apply this theory to the language acquisition, like for example, the first case where the second language learner and also the first language learner. So for the first language learner, they could apply the universal grammar easily because it's their mother language. But for the second language learner, it's just partly applying the universal grammar theory, and you can't really learn the grammar structure for the second language to connect it back to the first grammar structure because it is really different. So that's really interesting. And also another case where like with children and adults, there's like the hypothesis, if I'm not mistaken, critical period hypothesis. We're saying that there's a period of time where we as a human can absorb language really easily, which is like before our period.
Huh?
So when not period, puberty. So when
Don't worry, it's female education. It's biology.
so when at that time children absorb language really easily, while adult is really difficult in like learning the language. And another hypothesis where the fundamental differences hypothesis talks about how children can apply or learn language in like many different ways. With that said, children knows how to apply language differently in like many different situations better than adults do. So, for example, to like making my point really clearly, if you can see when in the classroom settings, when the teacher is teaching the grammar structure, students can apply the grammar easily in their day-to-day conversation as the teaching went on. Well, for me as a young adult, so if I'm trying to learn, example, Japanese, that would be like my third language, maybe third language, sorry. So Japanese for me will be harder to understand the grammar structure, and even to this day, I still cannot comprehend or grasp the grammar structure. So like for me, that really defined the hypothesis more, and the universal grammar till
Okay.
I wonder what kind of strategies that will be used to support these theories. Like, I mean, in some ways, educators must need something to support these theories if they use it in class, right?
I know something. Okay, just like what Ada said, in behaviorism theories, in positive reinforcement strategy. So in second language acquisition theories like behaviorism, positive reinforcement can encouraging learners with a desired behaviors like rewards and praise. So this theory was stemming by B.F. Skinner. So he said that if he suggests that learners imitate language they hear, and positive reinforcement motivates them to repeat those correct or desired patterns. So how it works? Okay, the first one is by stimulus, response, and reward. So in behaviorism, proposes that language learning is a process of habit formation through stimulus, response, and reward. So those who learn language, and then they got the correct form, they will get the positive reinforcement, right? So that will make them want to repeat that in the future. Okay, for second, how it works by imitation and repetition. Learners imitate language they hear, and positive reinforcement from peers and teachers can encourage them to do the correct form and want to practice the even the correct one, so that they can be better in the future. So that will make it as their habit. Yeah.
Oh, when you talk about that, that's give me ideas for universal grammar.
Yeah.
Guys, pay attention, please, guys. Okay. So what I was saying is, after Aisha gave her suggestions on behaviorism.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's give me ideas for universal grammar. So, if I'm a teacher, I will use parameter resetting. Do you guys know what it is?
No.
Parameter.
Yeah.
What is that?
Ding, ding, ding.
Denominator.
No, that's different meter. This parameter is not used to measure the length. It used as grammar.
Oh.
So it measures grammar.
No, parameter is a little switch in your brain that hold grammar basic for your first language. Yes. So parameter setting is very, very important in language learning, especially if you want to learn second language. I give you example. In English, the grammar rules is subject have you must need subject, right? For example, I eat.
She.
Huh? Huh?
No.
Okay, I eat. So the subject is I, correct?
Yes.
But in Spanish, you can easily say como, which means eat. You don't need to phrase that you are the person that gonna eat. So if you just say como, people will understand that you are gonna eat. So we can see that English and Spanish using a different parameter. So by using parameter resetting as your strategy in class, it can help the student to differentiate different language use a different parameters, which means grammar rules. So how does parameter resetting strategy support learners?
Oh.
Okay, it helps. Obviously, like I said just now, it helps students to identify the grammar structures. You know, first and second language, different structures, different rules, everything is different. So these strategies might help students to differentiate them. Okay, it also can support error corrections. So when learners make mistakes caused by the first language, these strategies could help to correct and reset the wrong parameters. Parameter resetting strategies help learners adjust their mental grammar when it's come to learning second language. So remember I said earlier there is a set parameter in your brain that is for your first language. So when it's come to second language learning, this parameter resetting can help you to reset the set parameter in your brain. So these strategies offer clear guidance, focused practice, and awareness of the grammar differences. So which supports more effective and accurate language learning.
That's a very interesting topic you guys talk about. So from your guys' talk, it makes me realize that second language acquisition is really important for educators, huh? Like from what you guys have discussed is that it helps to educators to like track progress of how students' development and all of that. And like from like what us we talk about, right? The theories, it helps educators to link the theory to the teaching practice. And also another point would be like how it helps educators to know the best ways to handle students or to teach the languages better to them.
Okay, we did learn a lot today.
Yeah, we did.
Very, very interesting discussions.
Okay, I think that's the end of our discussion. Okay, guys, thank you for watching, guys. Bye.
Hey, I noticed we haven't eaten this yet.
Don't.
Biscuit munchies, ice creature. Biscuit munchies, ice creature. Pew, 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 pew.